Hi, if you are watching this screencast, it's because you are part of a 2-hour training on learning Google Sites. Last year, I took it upon myself to try and build my own Google site with the help of a couple of webinars from the website simpleK12.com. I would not call myself an expert. I'm kind of in the middle of that journey. Some things on my site work. Some are just kind of placeholders as I'm trying to figure out how it works in my classroom. For those of you that don't know, my name is Claudine Jamba and I teach 6th grade English and 8th grade English here at the middle school. For those of you that I do know, hi. So we are going to move on, and I'm going to try not to put myself out of view here, so I apologize. This is the only time that you'll see me. I'm choosing to turn off the webcam for the rest of the screencasts. Not necessary to see me as long as you can hear my voice. But I would like you to please relax for the next 2 hours because how far you get really depends on you. This is at your own pace. There will be a screencast explaining the step-by-step process of creating a beginner site like mine, and you can always go back and re-watch things. You can rewind. You can do what I do, which is I generally pause the webinar that I'm watching and I try as I'm hearing it to see if I can do what I'm watching on the webinar, or go back and play the whole thing again if you need to hear it again. So lots of different ways to customize your learning. As you go through the different screencasts and apply the different concepts to your website, if you get stuck or you've broken your site, which is what I've done lots of times, I will help you as best I can, or we can search another source like YouTube on how to do something because there's lots out there. And the old Google sites is really not all that user friendly. It has lots of little different idiosyncrasies that can sometimes make you want to pull your hair out. More on that here in a minute. There are lots of places that you can research to get you out of your pickle, so take advantage of all those other things to help you answer questions. Coming soon is the new Google Sites. Hopefully I don't move myself out of shot here. And the new Google Sites is currently in beta mode being tested by selected users. So there's really only a small population of people who are working with what this new version of Google Sites will be able to do. They are saying that it will have a drag and drop interface like other platforms, making it a lot easier to use compared to the insert or embed things that the old Google Sites will have. Weebly has a drag and drop interface. Mrs. Zeller has a fantastic Weebly site, and she works with that. It is great, and the ease of use is really what has pulled people to use Weebly. Excuse me, I have used Google Sites just for this last year and tried to kind of play around with it and what it does. I want all of my Google apps to work together with one another, and so bringing sites online was just the next logical step for me. The other thing, in addition to the drag and drop interface, is real-time collaboration. Currently, if two people are working on one site, it has to be asynchronous editing, and that doesn't really work very well when all their other things happen to be synchronous. So if you're working on a Google Doc, more than one person can make those changes and you see those changes instantly. Same thing with Google Slides. So supposedly the new Google Sites will be synchronous as well so that you can see those changes at the same time that it's happening. The one that I'm particularly excited for is the responsive design. Right now, currently, Google Sites look fantastic on a desktop or on a Chromebook because it is aligned to those particular standards. And if you have a parent or a student who is looking at your website using a mobile device, everything's kind of all over the place because Google Sites doesn't really play well with all those other devices. So right now, they are saying that the new Google Sites will have a responsive design. Depending on whatever it is that you're looking up, it will adapt and it will shift those parameters of your site so that it looks fantastic no matter what you're using, which is great. So, and as I said, the new sites is currently in beta mode testing. You had to apply for that and you had to be approved to get it. I'm guessing just by some of the research that I've seen online, it was pretty hard to get. And so eventually when all the bugs and things, or as many bugs as they can, are worked out, we'll see that soon. So You should not be stressed out. It is not my goal to make this a stressful time. It's kind of a time to look at what Sites does, start to think about, if you did have a site, what would someone need or want if they were coming to your site? It's really user friendly in that if you do make a mistake, if you do break it, you can hit revision history and have it restore back to a place that you want to be. So it is kind of fail safe in that instance, and that you can always go back and restore something. So if you find yourself getting stressed out, you're doing it wrong, you should try and relax and just have fun with it. That's really the mindset that I had. Like, okay, let's see what I can do here. Let's see if I can figure this out. Let's see if I can figure this out. So that's really the mindset that I would like you to have with this. If you like this method of learning, this is one that I'm using in my classroom. I'm using screencasting. Screencasting involves your webcam, if you have one in your classroom, and also, or on your laptop, whatever you would use, and also an internal mic if your computer has an internal mic, or you can purchase an external mic. They run about 20 bucks or so on Amazon, and you can use your voice and your screen to direct your students. So the way I use this in conjunction with Google Classroom is that my lesson and my screencast and all that stuff are attached to an assignment in Google Classroom. The kids come in, they log into Google Classroom, they grab their earphones, they sit down, they open up their Chromebook, iPad, whatever it is, and they are listening to me explain what it is that I want. It allows me to kind of clone myself so that I could be working with 3 or 4 in one area, and the other kids are also working with me, but in a different way, so that everybody, it's kind of like I'm in more than one place at a time. So I really like Screencast-O-Matic. It's really user-friendly. It's free. I do have the Pro account, but only because it allows me to edit. It also allows me to use a little bit of a longer recording time, and the coveted, I can save it to my drive so that I can use the same screencasts next year if I don't want to redo stuff all over. It's a great tool for classroom use. I also use it for subs so that the kids can just come in, log in, do what they need to do, and it's like I'm there. So there is a little bit of time on the front end doing your screencast ahead of time, but the time that you gain in the classroom really is awesome and amazing. So away we go. With that said, you proceed through the screencasts and the different things that you are going to be doing to build your site at your own pace. If you get sidetracked and you want to learn something based on what the screencast made you think of, okay, well, I could embed this, let me go look for that, feel free. It's really at your own pace. If you finish your 2-hour time and you're not where you want to be, that's fine. You're still a member of this classroom. You can go in at any time, continue to watch the screencast, and build off of what you have. So hopefully you will find it fulfilling and a nice way to learn.